All right, we are inside the...
I'm not sure how much Dr. Cuneo told you about
Yeah, she did.
Here, but this thing is called the squid magnetometer.
Okay.
And it's an extremely sensitive magnetic detector. But the good thing about it is that it's perfectly safe and non-invasive. It's a passive detector, so it doesn't need to emit anything like X-rays or even ultrasound.
Like an MRI.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It doesn't need to generate a magnetic field at all. All it does is it detects whatever magnetic signals are in the environment. So all we do is we'll do a quick ultrasound exam to see where your baby's heart is, and then we'll just position this thing as close as we can to your baby's heart. And, you know, the signal depends a lot on how close we can get the detector to your baby's heart. So we'll come in once in a while and move it around, or if your baby moves, we'll have to kind of chase them around.
Wow.
Okay.
But that's pretty much all there is.
If I heard you correctly, you're saying this is mostly a receiver and no way a transmitter. Basically, the baby's heart is the transmitter.
That's right.
Okay.
Wow.
That's right. And that's why this room is a very special room. It's a magnetically shielded room. And so it screens out all the magnetic interference in the environment.
Okay.
Because the signals, the magnetic signals, are extremely weak and hard to detect. So the sensor would be completely swamped by the interference. In particular, all we would see, in fact, if you looked at what was coming out of this thing right now, it's like a 60 hertz sine wave, because it's picking up all the 60 hertz currents that are present inside any building that has electricity.
Sure. That is really fascinating. So she's going to be in here for about an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Okay. And in that time, what are you guys trying to measure? What's the goal?
Well, the signals actually, even though this detector is, it is extremely sophisticated, but we're basically just trying to measure the equivalent of an ECG or EKG, which they would normally record from you just by putting electrodes on your body, but it just doesn't work well in a baby. The baby has the slimy stuff on his skin. It's called the vernix, but and it prevents electrical currents from being conducted to the surface where they could be measured with electrodes. So it just doesn't work to perform an electrical measurement. But it turns out that magnetic signals are not affected by that. We don't rely on the signals being conducted like that to the surface. The magnetic signals just aren't affected by conductivity differences. So we're able to get a much better signal. So that's basically all we're trying to do.
Okay.
Another thing that we'll do, that Dr. Strasburger will do, is that we'll try to record Doppler signals, which is what when you go to Dr. Cuneo to get your exams every week, she's mostly doing Doppler. So we'll do some recording, a lot of the recording, just the magnetic signals alone, and then we'll do some where we're measuring both the Doppler and the magnetic simultaneously. Yeah, we don't do it all the time simultaneously because the Doppler produces interference. So we want to get as clean a signal as we can for the most part. You're mostly here to get this recording. And then we'll do some where we do both at the same time. There's additional information that you can get that you cannot get from either alone if you combine them. You can get what's called, electromechanical activity.
And I got a black key, babe. Sorry.
So that's pretty much it. You just need to lie here, pretty still, reasonably still. You don't have to be perfectly motionless during the procedure. And we can hear you. We have an intercom, so we can hear you.
Thank you for the description. All right, we'll sign off with that. Thank you.